Okay, everyone, settle down, get in a comfortable place. Let's get this meeting underway. We got a lot to do. As you all know, SHTF hit, and it hit hard. Down in the cities, as we've all seen, heard, coming in on the comms and all that, it's Lord of the Flies. Bad times are here. So we got to protect ourselves. We got to do stuff. And one of the top priorities, food. We got to have food, and we got to get it growing. Now with the 20 of us, we're going to need around 20 to 30 acres getting going. Thankfully, with all of our preps, we got all the seed we need to get the garden and the farms moving along. We should be there. However, as you all know, and that's what the purpose of this meeting is, we got a problem. Water. Now we got wells, we got pumps, and we got some windmills. We got no problem getting out of the ground. Problem is getting it to the land. All right, we got some really good ideas here, thankfully, to all the suggestions and everything else, what to do about this crisis. First thing, food buckets. We're going to dump a bunch of the food buckets out. Just put them in where you can, a good spot. Try to keep them off the ground. We'll work on keeping all the insects and everything else out of there. And we'll start bucket trains to pour the water where we need to get it and make little irrigation channels to dump it into to get the land irrigated with. I know, it's going to suck. Yes, you in the back there. What's your name? Lee, what's your question?
But there's going to be insects in the food.
I know. The insects are going to suck. We're going to have some extra protein in all of our grain. We're just going to have to get used to it. But can't let our plants die. We got to get water to them. So food buckets it is. All right. One of the other great ideas someone had is, so all the house cats we have, we're going to get sort of a mouse or a toy, something like that they all like real well, put it on a string, and we're going to make little camel packs for all the cats, and we'll have them chase this mouse to where we need to get water to, and they can all carry water and help us out. Yes, Lee, what is it?
Are you completely nuts?
No, I'm not crazy. We got to do something. Our plants are going to die. We're not going to be able to grow enough. I mean, we're going to starve. We're going to freaking starve out here. Ah! Hey, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. It's Reed here. Crazy Reed, if you want to judge by the introduction. And I was having some fun again. I hope you got a chuckle. And if you don't know, this is MOI, and I'm your host. And this is a channel basically about anything and everything I want to talk about. Sort of a theme. If all hell breaks loose, how to rebuild the world. Important theme, I think. And not enough is really devoted to it. And prepping is something I'm kind of passionate about. Also solar power, esoteric old technology, anything else I can get my hands on that seems fun and interesting to read about. If you like the idea, hang around, click the subscribe button. Now this video, we're talking about basic preparedness items. I mean, super basic. I was watching a video from Uncle Al, and his channel is DBullfrog79. I'll put a link in the description. And the specific video is going to appear over here, one of the two places. You can go take a look. He was talking about something really important and basic, and how a lot of preppers he's been working with, they don't have garden hoses. What? You don't have garden hoses? So you may have all this gold and silver stacked up. You're ready for the financial collapse. You have an awesome, amazing, tricked out weapons platform. You've got the night vision goggles. You've got the night vision scope. You've got the bipods, the rest, and the super match ammunition costing $1.92 a round. And you're ready, but you can't garden. You're a heirloom seed vault you bought and put away for hard times. Well, you haven't even practiced gardening, and you have a problem if you can't even get the water to your garden. Oh! Now, for those of you who are actually stockpiling important, useful stuff like that, don't worry. You can just laugh and giggle with me. For anyone else out there, let's talk about something basic. Now, every time I think, I don't have to cover that. It's so basic. Everyone should know this. I'm often surprised. See, I grew up in a very rural area and in the big city. And when I moved to the big city when I was in high school, I was often shocked about what I took for common sense that other people had no idea about. Like, don't drink the water out of the stream, you can get giardia and you're going to be miserable. Or cholera, or all sorts of other nasty, hideous things. People think, oh, clear spring water from the glaciers running down to us. We'll just fill up a bottle and drink. It's wonderful, amazing stuff like the commercial show. Are you nuts? Don't worry, we'll get to that part of water. But today, we're talking about water in the garden. Now, garden watering, really important. How do we use that? Well, garden hoses. Let's look at some of the garden hoses I got. This is your basic, everyday, cheapy garden hose at Walmart. I use them for little interconnections between sprinklers and all that. Often when I don't know exactly what I needed and I'm trying to figure it out. Now these things, if you don't have anything else, go buy a bunch of the little cheapies. They'll work, they'll help get your water where you need to go. Now the only problem with these things is they don't hold up very well with the UV beating out here. I mean, I get sun like nothing else out here. So these things, after a couple seasons, they crack, split, and just come apart. Not the best. Now, let me show you some stuff I really like. This is a heavy-duty, all-purpose, general-purpose rubber water hose. It's temperature-resistant. It's also UV resistant, and this thing has served me many seasons. I've been very happy with this. I bought it at a Home Depot. Yes, it's more pricey. It costs more. What even brand is this? Swan? Swan? The watering company. That's what it says on there. I've really enjoyed this. It's really handled the beatings I tear around, all that stuff like that. And it's been really resistant to all sorts of the cactus and thorns. Really good watering hose. It's got really good end connections. I like them. I like them a lot. Nice, solid, good connections I can get on there. And this is a really durable hose. So if you see something like this, spend the extra money and get it. They're really good. Now this one's a 50-footer. I've got several of these stacked up I use. Because like I said, all hell breaks loose when it finally gets going like that and I got a farm. I need to get water to places. And look, with what I'm working on right now, I can only grow about around 6 months of food is what I'm working towards. I'm hoping to cross into the 1-year mark real soon, and then from that to 1.5 years. And I'm getting more supplies as I keep going and building up to getting to that point. But, like if I get all these people coming here, like I've been inviting, say, hey, when all things come loose, come over to my place, we'll get started setting up like that. We got a lot of land to get watered to make certain we can grow everything. You need to get it there somehow. Garden hose, really helpful thing to use. The other thing is, like we're bringing acres online. Yeah, a lot of work. Also, we're going to have to dig irrigation trenches, and so that you can set it up where the water goes up to where I need it, and it just kind of runs down slope and fills in all the little areas that are set up to grow the various things. You just sort of, standard irrigation. But we'll cover irrigation and all that in deeper detail. But, like I said, right now it's garden hoses. And this is a really good one. Now here's another one I'll show you. This is a 100-foot farm hose I got at one of the hardware supplies. This is also a really good garden hose. It has taken one hell of a beating from me. It's gone through several seasons with me. Been out in the cold, hot, rain. I mean, everything going on down here. Mainly the hot, horrible UV sun beating on everything. And it's held up. Done a great job. Also, I haven't had to worry about any punctures, anything else with the cactus and all that. It's been very durable. The only thing I don't like about this one, it's not as flexible. It doesn't bend as much as I want, and you kind of fight with it a little bit more. But very durable, very thick walls. I appreciate that. Let me show you one other one. Now this one here is a Stanley Fat Max water hose. As you can see, it's really flexible. And I got this at Tractor Supply. Now, it's not the cheapest water hose. I think this 50-footer was like $26 or something like that. But I really enjoy the flexibility of this. So what I use is the heavier duty ones to get the water kind of where I'm at. Attach this thing up to go, move between everything because it doesn't tangle as much. It's really flexible, easy to move around. This works great for moving between all the end stuff and the plants. So that's something to really keep in mind, is all the gardening hoses you're going to need to get the water where you need. Now, since I'm one of those oddball preppers who thinks about everything in the most intricate, disturbing, nutball detail, I'm OCD, man. Cut me some slack. I just think about everything way too much. But let's get on to something far more deeper preps. Okay. Alright, this hose here is the washing machine hookup hoses, okay? You see them, like, this came from, Ace, right? I love having these things around. The reason is they have these two ends on the end where you put these things in there, you can screw them on. And one of the things that occurs to me is, SHTF happens, everything going crazy, you got all these people around, you're building shelters, you're setting up stuff, getting things. You're going to need water to a lot more areas. People need drinks, everything else like that. And it's a real nice convenience having some running water in a lot of places. Well, in that sort of event, we need to improvise plumbing. And since this is garden hose, I'm getting on this topic for other types of hoses. These things give you real good flexibility to interconnect a lot of things. I use them for that a lot when I jerry-rig things. And when I'm prototyping. Huge amounts of knowledge is gained by prototyping. Yes, you're going to waste things. Yes, you're going to break things. Yes, things aren't going to work. Yes, you're going to make a gosh awful mess sometimes when the water goes leaking everywhere. But learning how this works, very important. And yes, you're going to waste some money. But knowledge sometimes isn't very free, especially when you take what you've read about, what you've seen, everything else, and putting that into practice to actually get it going. Yeah, you're going to end up messing up. It's good to learn now. Now, the other thing, though, is I like to use, you see this is a ball valve and some stuff soldered on here, some copper and such. These are garden hose adapters to pipe thread. I have gobs of these things around. Like I say, for improvised plumbing, these hoses are great because you can get a lot of the plumbing laid out, so like that, and then set something up like this is to interconnect systems, right? And you interconnect with hoses. Super, super helpful and a lot of flexibility on that. Now, let me show you some other pieces involved in that. Okay, so here's like one of these plumbing parts, garden hose. This one's kind of neat because this one's 3/4 inch pipe thread on the back and 1/2 inch pipe thread in the center. So you can interconnect a lot of things. Now here's another one that's a garden hose adapter on this end, but 1/2 inch pipe thread on the back. And so like you can actually like put that together. Now, like I said, improvised plumbing, right? You get these things in there, you can get stuff linked up. Like one of the other things you could do, right, is I've got some little water tanks. They're not huge, but little water tanks. I think they're a 20 or 30 gallon or something like that. Is what you could do, say like you have these sheds or other things like that you're setting up to be water storage or water things for people for convenience. And what you could do is we could have, like one of those, garden wagons, right? You get some garden wagons and you put the little water storage tanks on them, and we go down to where our wells or other areas we're getting water, rainwater collection, because maybe we are short on pumps or other things like that. You fill the tanks up, right? Okay. Then you wheel them back to the place and you get them to your sheds. And what you do is you got a little, like a pallet on pulleys or whatever, and you can lift up the water tank so it's up at the top of the shed. And then, because you've used flexible hoses, the hose can be connected to that when you reconnect it, and it goes up so you're up high. And then you got some water fixtures at the base level where people are doing stuff like that. See what I'm saying? You can have a gravity feed, simple water supply for people. Very helpful so they can do dishes, clean up after themselves, get drinks, and so on and so forth. It's not a huge amount of water, talking 30, 20 gallons, right? But it provides immense convenience and it's easy plumbing. The other thing you could actually do on that I've been thinking about playing with, and once I get some of these built and tested, I'm going to show you guys about them, is say you have some of these things set up like that at interconnect. Well, what if fire breaks out because of something stupid, right? I mean, it's SHTF. People are going to be using candles. They're going to have camp stoves everywhere. All sorts of fire is going to be a massive risk, and we're going to cover fire risks and all sorts of ideas I got on that in deep detail, everyone. But you have something like that going on, well, you could have a valve set up where you turn it on and at least you got something to start sprinkling, or you've got a hose that you can start dousing it down with dousing down the fire immediately. Very, very helpful. We may not be able to go to the hardware store and get a ton of fire extinguishers, right? And we're going to run out, especially when you use them several times. Fire extinguishers are very helpful, but if we don't have them, gotta go old school, right? So I've thought if we had, little portable water tanks, interconnected them up, and so there was some sort of like gravity feed and stuff like that, at least people could put out fires in a way, because getting water on a fire immediately to make it so it's not, big fire, huge, huge help, right? Now, let me show you some of these other ones. So we got, this is on a ball valve, another hose adapter there. Now here's a water spigot. Standard thing like you hook a hose up to and everything else that you'd set it for outside, or hot water heaters like that. These are real helpful because they can also be a water input, like from these gravity feed tanks. You turn it off and you turn it back on when you're disconnecting things. And, outputs. I have quite a few of these stashed around. And then, of course, we got things to adapt things. All sorts like that. As you can see, I have all sorts of plumbing. I also have a lot of stuff I reuse. You can see this is attached with PEX and some other stuff. This is some prototype stuff, so like that. Now I take these apart, reuse everything. I reuse things like you wouldn't believe around here. But I'll be showing that. And I have a lot of stuff dedicated to plumbing, improvised plumbing, sewage. I got tons of PVC. And I got experiments going on how to prolong the life of like PVC glue, stick it in Mylar bags and everything else. We'll be going into that. But the point is, basic prep item, garden hoses, get your water. Now if you think about how many people you have coming over, where's your group setting up? How much water do you need? How much land are you going to have to irrigate? Okay, well, get a bunch of garden hoses. Get a bunch of plumbing to put in the ground to make hard irrigation lines. I've been setting up irrigation lines as I build more of my raised beds and stuff like that are preset, dedicated irrigation systems. Get ready. And then I have a huge stockpile of stuff under the house for building more stuff. Because I know SHTF, like I said, people who think that SHTF is going to be you sit around watching the street looking for the marauders and all that, you're nuts. You are so nuts. There is so much to do. You have to build sewage systems. You have to set up irrigations. You have to set up new plumbing systems to get other people additional water sources. All these other things. You could imagine, say you have a house, right? You have all those people come to your land and you've got like 40 people together, right? Okay, you're all going to use the same bathroom area and that septic system's going to handle that. You're all going to be using the same showers. You're all going to be using the same sink to wash up on. Yeah, you can see where this is going to be a problem real fast, right? I hope so, at least. I hope so. And it's stuff I think about. So I've been stocking up on all sorts of stuff like that. When places are getting remodeled and they're tossing things out, I'm like, hey, you care if I take some of that extra stuff? Sure, fine, we don't care. Extra sinks, extra toilets, all sorts of crap. Yeah. You can almost call me a hoarder sometimes, but I think about this stuff. And I keep working on things like that. I've got huge, crazy, oddball, nutty plans, but I'll be going over it with you guys. You can see how much you think I'm a complete nutball, or maybe Reed isn't totally crazy. Anyways, I hope this video gave you something to think about. If you haven't been planning about water distribution, do so. Do so. It's so important. Well, anyways, have a great day, everyone. This is Reed, out for now.